Okay, welcome to Patmore Pie's at-home baking series number 3. Today we're going to be making coconut cream pie and chai. So I've got my chai already boiling on the stove. I've got a bunch of spices and some water. Got fresh ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, and cloves. It's actually just coming to a boil, so we'll let it get nice and hot and boil for about, actually as long as we're doing the pies we can just let it go because the more it cooks the better it gets. And I've got my pie crusts in the oven. These are press and crust. It's a coconut flour, coconut sugar, and coconut and butter. And so those are going to bake for about 10 minutes. We got about 6 minutes left there. And I'm going to start on the filling. So I've got sugar and cornstarch here. I'm going to whisk together. This makes it so the cornstarch doesn't get lumpy when you mix it in with the milk. Got organic Radiance Dairy milk that I'm going to be using, which is the most delicious. My favorite is making pies in Fairfield, so I get to use Radiance Dairy milk. Alright, and we're actually ready to start heating the milk, so doing 1.5 half gallons of milk today. And the best part about this milk is it's so creamy. The recipe actually calls for half and half, but you don't need to do that with the Radiance Dairy milk because it's so rich. Alright, and this one we're going to shake up a little bit. Alright, and then 4 cups from this one, but it's about half, so I'm just going to guesstimate. A little bit more. Alright, there we go. And now I've got to wait for the milk to heat a little bit. When it's just bubbling just a little bit, I will add the sugar and the cornstarch that we mixed. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on so that heats a little bit faster. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so now we're ready to do the filling. I'm going to take my sugar and cornstarch over to the milk, which is almost boiling. Not quite, but almost. And then I'm going to kind of whisk this in because it just helps to make it not get clumpy a little bit more. And it's not perfectly mixed together, that's okay. The point is just to avoid major clumping from the cornstarch. And then this we're going to mix for a while until it thickens. So it doesn't have to be constant stirring, but you do want to be attentive to it. So do this every couple of minutes. And I can feel it's already thickening on the bottom. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and add the sweetened condensed milk. And let's see, my chai is boiling away nicely, making the kitchen smell amazing. Alright, so this has thickened up perfectly. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay, but this time it worked out really well. So I'm going to just grab the sweetened condensed milk, add that quickly. I'm actually going to turn this down. Right now. You can see it's just starting to boil a little bit. Huh. These must be different aged sweetened condensed milk, I think. I'm actually going to taste this one just to make sure it's still okay. Yep, tastes fine. Gotta be just a different age product. Alright. So just get as much of the sweetened condensed milk as you can in. I used to use an amazing organic product, but it's no longer available. And they do make a California Farms organic sweetened condensed milk, but I've been told it's not as high a quality as just the regular Eagle brand that you can get at Walmart. So that's the one I've been sticking with. All right. Now we're ready to whisk this up. Oops, and it's getting a little, you can tell the bottom is getting a little toasty, so I'm gonna quick about mixing this up and then the coconut, and then this is ready to pour into the pies. So we'll add 4 cups of coconut here. Just make sure that sweetened condensed milk got mixed in. I just found a patch of it that did not get mixed in, so make sure that's pretty even throughout. So then you just pour it in. Confident pour works best usually. Make sure I have enough and then I can add a little more at the end. Okay, so now we're going to make the garnish for the pies. So I use just a little bit of butter to make toasted coconut for the topping, which is just delicious and smells amazing. If your kitchen isn't already smelling good from the pies and the chai, just show you quickly, we've got the chai boiling away in here, and I use whole spices to boil because then we'll strain it in a little strainer that looks like this. And so I've got whole cardamom, pieces of fresh ginger, cinnamon, and whole cloves in there. So that it just boils away, and then when we're ready in a couple minutes we'll add the tea. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that now while we're doing the garnish. So I'm using a good earth, sweet and spicy, so it's a mix. It's got black tea, natural flavor, don't know what that is, it's no good, but rosehip, lemongrass, cinnamon, chamomile, peppermint, jasmine green tea, anise seed, ginger root, orange peel, and orange oil. So it's kind of a mix of a black tea and a green tea. So we'll do this for about 3 minutes. 11:13. All right, and while that's steeping, I will get the garnish going. Estimate here. So about that much coconut. And then it takes a little while to get going, but once it starts cooking, it can brown really quickly. So you want to keep an eye on it. And I like to mix in the butter a little bit. Otherwise, you can get really buttery sections and then dry sections. And you definitely want to do this on a low heat because otherwise you will just burn your coconut to a crisp. Alright, so we'll let that heat for a couple minutes. Tea has 2 more minutes. So we'll be right back. So our tea is ready to take out. I'm going to use a spoon, the way they do in England. And then I'm going to add some milk so that we boil the milk for just like a minute or so. Might just add the rest of the milk, but we might not need that much. Okay, that's probably good. And then we need to add some sugar. I like a lightly sweetened chai. Alright, and I'm also just noticing, I think our coconut is ready to stir here. You can sometimes see, oh, let's see, maybe I can turn it up just a little bit. We're actually not getting too much browning yet, so it means we need a little bit hotter. Alright, and I think I'll pour us some chai. Let's see, I'll just make sure that I get a little bit hotter. Alright, so I can see our coconut is just starting to brown. I'm going to stir it. It doesn't have to be an even brown, as long as we get a little bit of browning, then it adds a really nice garnish. So I'll stir a bit and then let it sit for a little bit longer. And meanwhile, it looks like our chai is just starting to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the chai. Do this over the sink just in case. Alright. My pouring skills are sometimes better than others. So there's one. And two. All right. We'll just let our chai cool for a couple minutes, then we can enjoy pie and chai. The pan will stay hot for a little while, so once you're pretty close, you want to go ahead and turn it off. And we've got some nice dark brown in there, but starting to smell the great toasted coconut smell. As long as you mix it up, it's okay to have a couple darks usually. Usually I aim for a little bit lighter brown, but when you're making chai at the same time, sometimes these things happen. Alright, and this is ready to put on the pies as soon as it cools. So just stay aware that the pan is still hot and we'll keep browning it. So it's good to mix for a couple minutes until the pan cools down. And then as soon as the coconut is cool enough, I'll go ahead and sprinkle it on top of the pies. And just in case, I just got a great tip from a fellow baking friend actually. You can go ahead and put it in a bowl or a pan so that you don't have to worry about it getting too browned in the pan. Alright, and I'm going to let it cool for a couple minutes before touching it because I use my hands to place the garnish on the pies. Alright, and we're ready to put the garnish on the pies. I often do this when the coconut is just a little bit too hot to touch, but I waited wisely this time and stirred it around enough that it's good. So usually I just do a sprinkle, 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 and then after that I'll do a little more smoothing out. And there we go. All right, and pies are all done. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and chai is done as well. We've got the chai over here, so Nicole and I are going to enjoy pie and chai.